Good afternoon. I'm Marietta St. Ange. I'm here to kind of give you a little overview about LinkedIn and some strategies that you can use for LinkedIn. To me, being a photographer, the LinkedIn platform probably was one that photographers really do not utilize, believe it or not. There's a lot of different social media platforms out there, and generally the most popular, as everybody knows, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. But LinkedIn is one of the more important ones, believe it or not, and it is definitely one that is not utilized correctly by many business people, but some business people have it down. So I've started really delving into it and trying to learn more about it, and I'm trying to make it work for me, which it definitely does. So, there's 350 million professionals on LinkedIn. Can you believe that? It's like just crazy. And I did read somewhere that LinkedIn is one of the top social media platforms in over 200 countries. So this was just the overview. You would have seen it when you signed up. I'm not going to read everything because you guys can read. So, but this is what we're going to cover today. So we're going to just do a brief overview of LinkedIn. I'm going to show you a comparison to the other social media outlets, and we're going to talk about which one is right for your business. The 80-20 rule. Has anybody heard of the 80-20 rule? Raise your hand if you have. Yay, Bob! And then how to engage and connect with your network, your professional profile, and how often to post. That is the thorn in everybody's side, because we're all so busy running our businesses. It's like, how can we even take time out to post on social media? But you need to. So social media platforms, basically Facebook, and that includes your business pages, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. Who's TikToking out there? Come on. YouTube and LinkedIn, obviously. I left out a few other ones, Pinterest. Yeah, but that really is more for certain. That's really more of a, I don't know. I use it for recipes, but a lot of photographers do use that as vision boarding. So it's something that if you have a big project that you want to come up with and you really kind of need help thinking about it visually, Pinterest is a great place to go for that. So, LinkedIn, it is the largest business-oriented network. It's geared specifically towards professionals. And it's funny because LinkedIn has definitely changed its platform since the inception. You used to basically be able to kind of post a little blurb and you would find your connections and you would click on that one, and then you'd get like invitations from a second connection and a third connection. And then this one was, it was almost like a family tree for businesses, if you think about it. Now they've definitely kind of rolled it around to become more like Facebook. I was shocked when I went in there and all of a sudden I'm like, whoa, I can post like a whole thing and I can post a picture and I can do all this great stuff. And, so that I think is to their advantage. We just have to get more people using it that way to connect, and also remember to connect with other businesses. It gives you the ability to showcase your profile and your expertise. Facebook doesn't really give you that. Yeah, you get a small little area to blurb in there. It's like, here's my business page, love me. But Facebook's algorithms don't always work for certain people's businesses. So LinkedIn also gives you the credibility. So like when you're on LinkedIn and say, Bob, I'm going to pick on you because I don't know you well. So what do you do for a business?
So I do management consulting, primarily business strategy, operational excellence, process improvement.
Perfect. Okay. So you definitely need to be on LinkedIn.
Yeah, definitely.
Because you're going to find all your people there.
Yep.
You're going to be able to say, I need this kind of a person. Let me see who I can find, because you can put out job searches on there. And if you create your profile the right way, people will find you and they're going to want to come to work for Bob, and they're going to say like, hey, I need to be with Bob.
Yep.
So Liliana, she's in marketing. So she is absolutely, 100% should be on LinkedIn. Facebook is good for like reunion style type things. It's good. Facebook is good for the Tupperwares, the pampered chefs, where you're kind of like more home-based oriented, because that kind of like works personally. Whereas LinkedIn is going to help you create your network out there. And so, if Bob's doing management, and process improvements, well, he's going to put something out there, and Liliana's going to say like, you know what, I really need help doing this. And he's going to say, hey, I have a process improvement for you. So it's a great place to network. It's a great place to be amongst other professionals, and not only in your area, all over the country, all over the world. So, Facebook, biggest social media site around, more than 2 billion people use it every month, but you know what? They keep on screwing with their algorithms, and they keep on messing us up. So business people using Facebook, you don't have consistency, because 1 minute you're connecting with all these people on Facebook, and then the next minute you're not, because they've taken away something from you. So it's a great place to be. It's a great place to have a presence, but I don't think it's the best place for a small business owner to be trying to recruit more business. So Instagram, it was, I'm going to break some people's hearts here. It was all about the photo sharing. It was all about that. Well, they've just announced that they are no longer going to be a photo sharing app. I see Joanna. She's like, what? Don't take my Instagram away from me. But they've decided that they no longer want to be known as the photo sharing app. They want to basically, they want to be the next TikTok. So they're taking their Instagram reels and they're running for the hills. So right now, nothing has changed. It's still kind of the same. But I do know quite a few people who, believe it or not, they do not own a website. They do all their business on Instagram. So this one piece of tidbit for anybody who does that, which I'm assuming all of you have a website, don't leave your business to the social media platforms. If you don't have a website, you need to get one. Because I had been working with another person, and when I mentioned that Instagram was no longer going to be a photo sharing site, she started crying and she said, oh my God, that means I have to get a website now. I go, yeah, you should have had a website all along. You need to have a place that you can call your own, because even if you have to change hosts, that website is yours. So, but Instagram has become really good for building brands, only if you know how to do it. And you have to invest the time in doing that. So Twitter, it's for what is real, what is now, what is in the news. So I made the mistake early on. I was like using Twitter to like advertise. And then I was just like, yeah, no, I'm not getting anything from it. It's really just a place for people to kind of connect and read about what's happening. TikTok, I have to tell you, I've seen a lot of really cool videos on TikTok where people are actually promoting their business, but they're doing it in a fun way. They're doing it so that people remember them. It's not your standard dry, hi, Patty, and I own Patty Cakes, muffin shop. They're actually showing the process of, making a cupcake. They're showing the process of, how they're, giving it to the person, the experience. So TikTok is basically something that if you can make something fun, like, okay, so Joanna, what do you do? I didn't ask you yet.
Thank you so much for asking, because I wanted to tell you what I do, because I'm curious to see how I can incorporate these social media sites. But I work at Goodwin University. I work at a college. I am part of the foundation here, so that's like the fundraising arm of the university. And I'm also the alumni relations coordinator. So I need to figure out social media a little bit more so I can engage my alumni.
Oh my God, absolutely. That is like, you know what? LinkedIn is going to be perfect for engaging the alumni, because once they leave the college, that's really their first step in trying to engage a job for themselves. They're all putting their, image up on their profile up on LinkedIn. They're looking to see if they can get a job with somebody. So that is a great, you're definitely going to need to up your game with LinkedIn. But the fundraising part of it, think about it. If you got some kids out on the college campus and you needed to do some fundraising, you could create some really cool, tastefully done, but neat TikTok videos that can then get shared. I mean, some of these videos, they just blow up, if it has that quality that people just want to, I saw one yesterday, sent it to my kids, and it was an older woman, and she was in the car and she had a taco hat on, and her daughter was sitting next to her and said, "What are you doing with that hat, Ma?" And she goes, "It's Taco Tuesday. We're going to Taco Bell because I want tacos." Yeah. So do you think everybody went to Taco Bell as soon as they saw that video? Hell yeah.
Yes.
I even threatened my kids. I said I was going to get one of those hats. So.
You have to be very creative with coming up with these videos, but there's so many national holidays like Taco Tuesday, or just like regular things that we can kind of use to help us, promote in a way. Like if it's like national, like, I don't know, Margarita Day or something. Just like do like a chain of TikToks and either make a margarita, or I don't know, like.
Absolutely. And you've got the in. You have the in because you have the kids there. You can utilize the kids. You could put a thing out to the, through the campus newsletter and said, "Hey, listen, we're coming up with some cool TikTok videos. We need a committee to form to do this," and then let their imaginations run wild. Especially, they're going to be your best spokespersons.
I'm so glad that you said that, because I put a lot of pressure on myself, trying to come up with these like fun things to do, but like I gotta really put it out on the students and have them.
You do.
I'm glad that you said that, because
if they love the school, if they love where they work, they're going to go ahead and promote it. Yeah. Especially the 18 to 25-year-olds. They are totally going to promote it. That is what they do. They are into branding in a way that we as older people don't. Well, not we. You guys are, some of you are young. I'm old. But they are going to promote it in a way that we never really could, because they're not afraid to let loose. Sometimes they need us to rein them in a little bit, just to make sure that they're a little more professional, but that's okay. Right. So, Janavi, I hope I said that right. I'm going to pick on you next.
Oh, she is our intern. She doesn't have a webcam or speaker.
Oh, shoot. Okay, that's all right.
Sitting in.
So she's an intern. That's perfect. Oh my God, you're coming into play a little bit later on. Don't worry. All right, so that's TikTok. YouTube, come on, tell me, who hasn't Googled a YouTube video on how to fix your car, on how to, fix your lamp, on, whatever your business is, create a video, put it up on YouTube, because chances are people are going to go ahead and they're going to Google something to find it out, and they'll find you. Okay, so I'm going to just head back here because we're going to talk about this for a little bit. So I just went through some of the major social media platforms. Now, that doesn't mean that you have to be on every single one of them. What you have to do is you have to pick and choose what is the best use of your time and what platform is going to work for you. So obviously we're here to talk about LinkedIn. So I'm going to tell you LinkedIn. So you know what? All the other ones, they're good, but LinkedIn is definitely going to be one for the small businesses that you're going to be able to, I think, get a lot of traffic from. So, all right. So we're going to go over the 80-20 rule. All right. It's known as the Pareto principle. 80% of an outcome stems from 20% of the work put in. So if you publish 30 blog posts in the month of September, 6 of them will likely end up driving your traffic to the site. Okay. So there's another 80-20 rule, and that's why I put that in here, that applies specifically to social media marketing. And what a lot of people don't understand is they think that social media marketing always has to be about the business. It does have to be about the business, but in a roundabout way. 80% of what you should be putting out there should be engaging your public. It should be talking about things that are going to interest them. So I'm going to put out a post because I'm a photographer. I'm going to put out a post one day that says, this is what you should wear to a, if you're having a family session, this is what you should wear. I'm not telling you that you should have it done with me. I'm just giving you the information that now you're going to tune in the next day because you're going to see, hey, what else does she think that we should be doing? Then the next day I'm going to say, these are some of the greatest locations to have an outdoor family session. And then the next one is going to be, should you bring your pet along? You're going to give them information about your business, about what you do, but in a roundabout way so that you're not slamming them in the face every day with, hey, look at me. This is what I do. I sell Pampered Chef, buy this, buy that, buy from me. People will get turned off by that. Am I right? I mean, how many of you get turned off by stuff like that? You can just nod your head. So the rule is that 80% of your social media posts should be non-promotional and 20% should be promotional. So, and this goes for LinkedIn. This is specifically for LinkedIn. So you want to build your brand on LinkedIn. You want people to network with you on LinkedIn. So your posts need to be about the target customer and what their needs are. And that's what I was giving you the example that when I'm doing a family session, I'm going to give them all the little tidbits and all the little pieces that they need to know. And you know what, if they come and if they have a session done with me, I'm extremely happy. If they don't, I've educated them now so that they know going forward that this is how they should handle their family session. And people also will see your articles, and they don't have to be long articles. They can be short. They will see that and they'll know that you're informative. You are informed about your business. You know what you're talking about. I have 28 years as a photographer, a professional photographer. Every year I go to different conferences to learn how to better myself in photography. I honestly don't ever stop learning. And that's something that I want to pass along to my clients, because once I educate my clients, then that means that I don't have to, I hate to say it, work as hard. So,
Marietta,
yeah.
Before you move on, I don't
Sure.
know if I might be jumping ahead into content that you have a little bit.
That's okay.
One of the things I'm still, trying to find the sweet spot on in LinkedIn is really the identity of your company and the identity of you. So you have a company page, you have your personal page,
Right.
and when you share content, there's pros and cons, I feel like, of sharing it from the company side versus the personal side.
Right.
So like early on, before I had a good amount of followers on the company side, I had no choice but to really do it on the personal side.
Mm-hmm.
And then as I get more and more people to actually follow the company page, I'm trying to drive more traffic over there so that, the engagement, whether it's people that are liking it, commenting it, etc., it sits on the company page so that it builds a little bit more credibility to the business versus folks coming to me.
Correct. So you're asking for how can you do that? How can you move people over to the business page?
I guess the question would be is, two things. Like, do you feel like there's a tipping point? So let's say you have, 1,500 or 2,000 personal connections.
Yep.
When you start your company page, you start with zero.
Right.
Eventually, through invitations and different communications, you get more and more people. So number one, I guess, like, is there a number where you feel like you can almost exclusively post through the business? And then even if you're not exclusively posting through the business, is there a type of content that maybe generally makes more sense to push through the business page versus, other content that makes more sense to push through your personal page?
Okay. So basically, I would push everything through my business page because that's really what you're there on LinkedIn to do. If you were an independent contractor and you didn't have a business, your business was you, then that's all well and good because you just have the one page. What I would do, Bob, is I would actually take those people that you have on your personal page, create an article, and then I would I would tag both your business page in that article, but also tag one of those people and say, you know what, and give them an incentive as to why they need to go over to that business page. So say it's an article about your process improvement, you're kind of saying like, okay, Joe Smith, is a business person who needs help in how to move people over to this LinkedIn business page. You're going to say, here's what I've found. Here's an article that I just wrote regarding this. Joe Smith, head over to my business page, whatever the name of it is. And so that way you can find more resources on what can help you there. If you tag that person or those people, you're now giving them a way to move. They've followed you for a reason on your personal page. And so they need to know that they need to go over to the business page for other resources that you can give. So, and as far as your question goes, to answer when you should stop posting on one or two, both of those pages, I think that when you get the majority of your people that are now on your business page, if that's the page you really want to keep going strong with, I would just make sure that you check in on your personal page, like at least once a week, to make sure that there aren't any other people that have found their way there, and you want to bring them over to the business page. Does that make sense?
It does, yeah, because I think whether it was always a feature and I just didn't know about it, or I just happened to stumble, it was something that was introduced a few months ago. But I know with a regular subscription, the free subscription, you can invite, I think, 100 people a month.
Right.
It's very simple. Like you just go through your contacts and check.
Yep.
Send the invitation to those people to follow your company page. So it makes it really easy for them to do that. But what I'm finding is, if I post something, let's say on the company page, and then I share that post on the company page with my personal profile, all of the engagement still tends to end up on my personal profile.
Right. Right. You need to get them moved over there, and and what I wouldn't do is I wouldn't refer back to your personal page from your business page. You want to be able to move it the other way.
Right. Yep.
If that makes sense.
It does. Yep. Thank you.
Okay. No, you're welcome. Absolutely. So thank you for asking that question too, because that's a valid question. I mean, LinkedIn is huge. And LinkedIn has so many different changes that have been made to it. I mean, I can't possibly go over all of them in an hour.
I know.
But the 20% rule, the 20% part of that rule is where you're going to promote your business. And that's going to take place in, I'm running a contest. Who wants to sign up to be a part of my, marketing experience with Liliana? This is the contest that I'm running. So you want to try to engage them, because once you've given them all that information in those articles every day, they're ready, they're hooked, they're in there, and now they want more. So you don't have to give away the world. Like literally, I will sit there and talk about all the dressing, all the stuff for a family session, and then I'll be like, here, sign up here so that you can get a copy of my best dressed, PDF. And that sign up is giving me their information, and then I can contact them because I know that they're engaged. So the 20% posts are self-promotional, but you got to make them appealing, and you got to make sure that you're not, pointing your finger at them in the face and going, come on, come on, come on, Social media has to be, in my opinion, it has to be something that's done subtly. So that people don't feel like they're going to be turned away from you. So, and with LinkedIn, it really is more of a business profile section. So we're going to go into how to engage and connect with them. So this is kind of like along the lines of what Bob was talking about, because it can be intimidating. And I think I talked about this a little bit before. My best friend, when she first joined Facebook, she would friend everybody that came around. And I'm a little more reserved. I think in order to have a good LinkedIn account, I think you need to at least know everyone who you're connecting with, or somebody else needs to know them. Except in Joanna's case, because she is, part of the alumni. She's not going to know every single alumni that there is for Goodwin College. So as long as their requirements are they attended Goodwin College. But I'm not going to connect with people who I don't know, because I'm not really even sure that they're people. In this day and age with cybersecurity and all of that stuff going on, you got to make sure that they are who they say they are. And the way to do that is, if you're at a function, you personalize your connection requests. So follow up on your in-person networking opportunities where, we have a chamber event. It's, business after hours. And I've met Bob for the first time. I'm going to find him on LinkedIn after this. I'm going to find all of you. And then I'm going to go, it was great meeting you today, Bob. I met you today at the business after hours. I'd love to be connected here on LinkedIn. Because that's going to put a name to a face. And that's one of the things that I learned early on. Many of you don't know this, but I have been a photographer for 28 years, but prior to that, for 10 years, I worked at Cigna Corporate. I was a salesperson. I mean, I had human resource responsibilities. I wore a suit and heels. Now I wear my sneakers and jeans. So, but I still have those connections, and I want to make sure that I can put a face to a name. And so that was something I learned early on, was that when you meet somebody, take a moment and just, I used to carry a little notepad with me. I wasn't that really nerdy. I was actually kind of a cool kid, but I used to carry a notepad with me. And if I met somebody, I would write their name down and I would just put a brief description. And then that, because this was before the age of social media and being able to look somebody's profile up and see their picture. So I had to make sure that the next time I met them at an event, I could remember who they are and what they do, because that's going to make it good for me. So it's the same thing on LinkedIn. It's the same thing. You're going to follow up on your in-person networking opportunities, and then you're going to personalize your connection requests. And if you haven't met them in person, you're just going to personalize that connection request, and you're going to say, Liliana, I'd love to connect with you because Bob says you are a fantastic person. And you're going to be like, wow, oh, yeah, I like her.
These are all facts.
Exactly. See? It's all in the way that you talk to people. It's all in the way that you approach them. And it's all in the way that you are friendly, and do we all have time to do this every single day of the week? No. But you have to invite your engagement by posting often and personalizing those posts as well. So not only are you following up on your in-person networking, you're personalizing that connection request, and then you're going to say, hey, Liliana, by the way, I don't know if you knew this, but I'm a photographer and I have this fabulous little document that kind of gives you an idea about maybe collaborating, and we could do like a headshot marketing night. So do you see what I've done there now? I mean, I'm trying to engage her, but I'm piquing her interest because she's in marketing. I do headshots. Now she's going to connect and she's going to say, oh my God, that would be great for my clients, because you know what? They all need new headshots. So why not? Let's just do this big marketing event, and Marietta will be there in the corner just doing her headshots. And then I'll be having some wine and cheese with people. So you got to kind of get a little creative with what you're doing and how you're working, and look at some of the people that you can connect with and see how you can work together with them. Most recently, I've been mentoring another photographer in town, and we decided that we wanted to try to do something together to help the Operation Graduation at the high school, because they've been, with the pandemic and everything, they've been really struggling. So we went to the leaders and we said, we want to run a fashion show at the high school. And the seniors are going to be doing, the runway work. We're going to engage all of the different groups in the school, and we're going to go look for sponsors, and we're going to make it a scholarship opportunity. And that was John and I collaborating on LinkedIn, where he was an actual business guy, and he found me and he was like, I really want to be a photographer. Can you teach me? And I'm like, sure. Some people would be like, oh God, you don't want another photographer in town. They're going to compete against you. I don't care. There's plenty of people in town. So, and then the other thing is just to write and publish articles demonstrating your expertise. So if you can't write, but you know what you want to say, we have other people in the chamber that are fabulous at writing. So you can hire somebody to actually, put it into, the form that you want it to be. You can just talk into a tape recorder and say, this is what I want. And they just record it and they just write it out. And then you can publish that. And if you need to save time, do several articles at once. And then you've got one a week for a certain thing. So any questions on that? Feel free to jump in. Profiles. Oh God, here we go. If you'd seen my headshot program and bio program, that's really half of this. So your profile has to pop. It has to be something that when people are looking to engage with you, they're going to be like, I want to be that person's best friend. So obviously, if it has a picture, it is going to be 14 times more likely to be viewed because people trust pictures. I hate to say it that way, but they do. They trust the faces. They also want to know the faces. They want to see the faces. And a well-done headshot is going to be able to convey your honesty, your business expertise. It's going to be, exactly what you need. But you see down the bottom, it says consistency is a must. You got to make sure that the headshot fits, what you're trying to convey as your business. So obviously, if Bob, is a business person, he's not going to put a profile picture of him up there in biking shorts and, a bike shirt. Because that's not what he's advertising for. That's not what he's trying to convey to people that his, expertise is. So you have to make sure that it matches. It can be fun and you can make them fun. You just got to make sure that it matches with what you're doing. You need to spice up your professional headline or tagline. You get that. You get to say, Joanna, you're, head of fundraising and alumni. So you could say it boring like that, or you could say creating an experience for the alumni of Goodwin College, and then you'd have your separate tagline that would be like, fundraising gets us to where, we can provide more services for you'd come up with something that would really make it exciting to them to say, I need to work with this person. So, you've got to take a look at it. And if you have trouble with that, grab a group of people together that you would network with normally. So I have 3 other photographers that we have a little group, and that we're all in different parts of the state. So whenever one of us has an issue, we just hop on a Zoom meeting. We're like, I really need to know how to fix this. And I don't know how to say it. I've got 3 other people there that can sit there and throw stuff out at me. And then something's going to stick. So that's actually John Barber's message, making it stick. So, but you have to be able to come up with something that's going to be a little bit different than whatever. So Joe Smith, he's a banker. All right. So if Joe Smith put, hi, my name's Joe Smith and I'm a banker. Okay, great. I don't know who you're banking with. I don't know what kind of banking you do, and aren't bankers boring? I don't know. So always make sure that you look at that and you spice it up a little bit. Share your career story in the profile summary. How did you get there? How did you get to being, I wasn't always a photographer. And so for me, that's beneficial because I can sit there and say, I worked at Cigna for 10 years as a claim service manager and human resources. And now I'm a photographer. And some people will go, why? And I'm like, because I found that I've always loved photography, and 10 years in the corporate arena gave me the confidence to be able to start my own business. So when people see your story personalized, and that's the key, you got to be personal about it, but not too personal. So you got to be personalizing it. They're going to want to work with you because number one, you've opened up to them, and number two, or they're going to want to work for you because they see the similarities. You know, I've had people come to me from, like John, from corporate jobs, and he's like, I know that you worked at Cigna, and I'm just interested in how you made that switch. So, and let people know that you're open to opportunities. A lot of this talks about like recruiters, you know, looking for people to fill certain jobs, but it's also for networking, you know, as far as like, say, you know, Joanna, you've got alumni coming to you. You're in charge of the alumni. So basically you're going to say, I'm open to the opportunities for your students. Open it up to the students to say, how are we engaging these alumni? How do we keep having them come back? What would make you want to come back to the school and support the school? So make sure that you're open to allowing those students to give you that input, because otherwise you're not going to know unless you call every single alumni up and say, hey, you know what, you want to give me $1,000? Sorry, you know, I know I'm just asking for it now. You know, but if you have students, you know, coming up with different creative ways of doing it, then they're going to know. And the students are going to find you on your LinkedIn profile, and they're going to say, you know, okay, this is cool. She's open to it, you know, and let's work together. So, how often to post? This is like, I hate it. I hate it. I hate posting all the time. I do. I don't post all the time. I have to post more. But they recommend sharing 20 posts a day, per month. So 1 per day. And you're all looking at me going, how do you find the time to do that? See, I barely have time to get dressed. How am I going to post every day? So best thing you could ever do is hire an intern. High school, college kids, they are the most savvy with social media platforms, and it's going to be right up their alley. Half the time you don't even have to pay them because it's an internship. Okay. Sometimes internships are paid. It's all up to you. But I'm going to tell you this. If you're going to hire an intern, make sure you know the job that you're going to give them to do, because this is your business that you're putting in their hands in the social media world. So a very smart woman once told me, she said, I hire high school kids to come in and work for me. And then I asked them to go out and get a couple more of their, you know, people, you know, they can advertise at the high school and see if, you know, they want to work, you know, with us. And I go, but how did you keep them from just grabbing their friend and then they're screwing around all the time? And she said, she goes, because I told them that if they hire their best friend, or if they tell their best friend to come and be an intern here, I'm going to put them in charge of that best friend. And if that best friend fails, they have to fire him. It's a good lesson. It's a tough lesson, but it also makes them be a little more engaged in the actual business itself. So you can also automate the process with an app like Hootsuite, Buffer for phone posting, desktop posting, Hootsuite or Slack Social. There's several other ones out there, especially for phones, but they go versus Android and iPhone, and Hootsuite you do have to pay for. I've only used both Hootsuite and Buffer, but both of those include almost all of the social media platforms except for Instagram. So, and I think if I remember correctly, Hootsuite does do Instagram. So there's lots of other ones. I have used, you know, there's Later, there's, God, there's so many of them that are out there now. And I keep testing all different ones just to see which ones I like better. But if you have the time to set it up, say like, you know, on a Monday morning, you just set up all your posts for the whole entire week. and just block that time out if you're doing it on your own, then you don't have to worry about it. I have a girl who just had a baby, and she's got some major postpartum depression. And she's like, literally, my business is running off of automation. I said, yeah, I saw your post coming out and I was just shocked. I figured, you were doing okay. And she's like, no, she goes, I just automated everything and it's just going out there. So it works for different times. So say like, something happens, if you're going on vacation, you can still get that information out, that message out to people. And then hire a social media marketer, if you have enough volume, and even if it's on a part-time basis, if you have somebody coming in like 2 days a week. I know somebody that actually hired a college kid 2 days a week who is an actual media communications major. So it's a perfect partnership. And Joanna, I know you got to have kids there like that. You don't always have to do everything all by yourself. And that was a lesson that I learned the hard way because I didn't have a life. Back in the day when it was film, I was photographing with film. I used to print all my own images in the darkroom and color. And so I would be in the darkroom for hours on end without any light, because color, you can't have any kind of lights on. I'd come out at 5 o'clock in the morning and I'm like, what? No idea what time it was. So try whatever you can to outsource, because there are people out there that can do it better than you can. So references, I'm going to tell you my favorite book. I love this book. It's The Power Formula for LinkedIn Success, Wayne Breitbarth. And then LinkedIn Learning. They have fantastic articles on how to get yourself forward and over all those humps that you need for social media. So, any questions? Come at me. I hope I helped everybody a little bit. You can unmute yourselves.
Yes, thank you so much. This was super informative. Yeah, one of my biggest struggles is having the time to post. So I'm thinking, down the road, once we expand a little bit more, that I want an intern or a student worker or another member of the team just to focus on social media, because I think once I have that, I think everything would be so smooth and just, everyone would be engaged and just, But right now it's just hard for me because I have to think about what I want to post, which takes like an hour for me because I'm so indecisive and I have like so much like things that I want to do. I just don't know like what would actually be a good approach or a good thing to actually post in that moment. So I have a hard time deciding on what I want to get out there. And then just, like kind of always checking in and just like seeing if people have responded and this and that. So like I try to log in like twice a day, but I don't post 20 times a month. I'm posting right now like once every 2 months, like that. And I'm just sharing too. So it's like
it's a big job. I mean, and I was just talking about posting, but I mean checking, because I can't even tell you, I get people coming at me from Facebook Messenger, from emails, from texting, from everywhere. And I'm just like trying to keep up with all of that. It really does take a good portion of the day. So if you can, make sure that in your profile, you can say, I check messages once a day. So please be patient with me. Communicate and educate. That is my big thing with clients when it comes to social media. You have to communicate and educate, because they will move right on.
Yeah.
If they don't hear from you, they will move on.
Exactly.
So.
And I'm also thinking, I've thought before to do like a social media marketing plan for like the entire month and kind of preset it and stuff. But a lot of the things that I've seen for presetting and automated messaging is it costs money, and I want a little bit of a tight
You're in a budget.
So it's hard for me to do that. So like I do actually have to do it like daily, but hopefully down the road I'll have some extra help. But for the time being, I do want to get better at it. So I'm going to take the time, either maybe an hour every morning and from 8 to 9, and just focus on all my social media posts and everything like that. Give a 24-hour response time back, or, like a, just like a respond back, and they're going to have to wait.
It's a great plan. And something, like I said, educate and communicate. That's all you can do.
Yeah.
That's all you can do. Yeah. How about you, Bob?
Yeah, this was great. I appreciate the all the content. I think it was also just a good reminder and kick in the butt to do things a little bit more frequently.
Yep.
Part of it's the time commitment. Part of it is trying to strike the balance of, not doing it so frequently that people start to tune out. If the end goal is to actually have them engage with something that you post there and, go learn something new or different. But I think I also can get stuck in I want to come up with the perfect post, so if it's an article, there's definitely a time investment in writing a good article. But sometimes it could be really simple. I get great engagement by putting a flag, on 4th of July with just a happy 4th of July type of message, and just simple things like that oftentimes can generate some traffic.
Absolutely. And you know what? Your article doesn't have to be a written format. It doesn't have to be a long period. You could take an article and you could break it down into sections and post one of those sections every day, as long as you make sure that it flows. And then you leave them. It's kind of like a teaser. It's kind of like, hey, tune in tomorrow for part 2, and same thing. It can also be visual, like you just said, the flag, give them a message, make sure that they know that you care about them. That's a perfect, thank you for bringing that up, because I meant to say that and I didn't. So that was perfect.
Yeah. The other thing I found very, very helpful too is just the analytics that LinkedIn will provide you, so that they'll show you the engagement rate. They'll show you how many views, and they can trend things over time, and you can see how it's directing traffic and where people are coming from. So I've definitely found that really helpful also.
Yeah. LinkedIn has become my favorite, really. I mean, I get fed up with Facebook. I get fed up with Instagram. Twitter's okay. Twitter really didn't do anything to me. So but LinkedIn is really just kind of one of those things that I can see building my business upon, which a lot of photographers, they don't use, believe it or not, which, unless they're like more headshot, corporate photographers, but the more family and, the high school senior, we're not going to find some of those people on here. So, and again, Instagram is for the 20 somethings. And Twitter's for the 30 somethings, Facebook's for the 40 somethings. I don't know who had the 50 somethings, but but LinkedIn should be for everyone. So
it's funny because I'm part of a lot of chambers these days, and I'm in a lot of like networking groups. So don't be surprised if I send you a request to be my friend on LinkedIn at the end.
Absolutely. I hope I get a request from everyone.
Definitely facilitators of like meetings and stuff like this. I'm just like always my friend for life.
Yep, absolutely. Gotta be.
So no, I definitely appreciate you taking the time today, and it was great.
Oh, good.
Very happy to be a part of it, and I know that you said maybe doing a second one, so I hope to see some communications out on that, because I would definitely sign up for it.
Perfect. Thank you. That'd be great. All right. So what do you think, Amy?
Yeah, I think we're good. And I just want to tell everybody that we do have our last workshop on August 19th, and that's on email marketing. So there's one last one in the series.
Excellent. Oh, I forgot to put this up here. If you need to get in touch with me.
Give me a second to write it down.
You can just take a picture of it with your phone.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Hopefully I spelled it all right.
Thank you so much.
No, thank you. Where'd we lose Liliana? Is she still there? There she is.
Here. I have two calls at the same time, but yeah, I'm still here.
Excellent. So who's the
Yeah.
last one that's up? It's Jill, right?
Yep.
It's
Jill's
Jill, yeah.
presenting next one.
Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, everybody have a great rest of the summer. It's going to be going by fast. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Sure, and I'm hoping for some decent weather, at least for a week.
I
One
know.
consistent week of good
One
weather,
would be
and
nice.
then I
But
will
this
have,
week has been very nice because it's not that hot or humid because I hate humidity. Like I
Yeah.
cannot deal with the humidity.
And you're from what, Ecuador?
Yeah. I'm from Ecuador, but I am from like in Quito. We are in the highlands. So basically we have 75, 70 degrees all year
Ah,
round,
so you don't
but
have the
zero
humidity.
It's dry. In
Nice.
the coastal area, it is very humid, like
Yeah.
in Florida. But where I am from is like spring. So
Yep.
yeah, I don't do well with the humidity.
Oh, that's so nice. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't do well with the humidity either. My daughter went to college in
No.
Florida. I used to have to bring her down there in August, and oh my God, I was like the Wicked Witch of the West. I was melting.
Yeah. Yeah, I have a friend. She usually goes as soon as the fall starts. She flies to Florida for all the winter. And I was talking to her yesterday and said like, oh my God, this week the weather has been so nice. And she said like, it's so nice. This is cold for the summer.
Yeah.
I said like, this is cold. My God, no, this is perfect. Leave it there.
Oh no. Oh my gosh. That's funny. Yep. Well, I'm up to Vermont tomorrow to go and visit a school for my son who's a senior this year. So
Oh my God. That's beautiful.
It
Vermont
is
is
beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah. Better in the fall though. Better in the fall. That's
Yeah.
where I went. I went to school in Vermont. So it was really nice, except for the winters.
Exactly. Yeah. That's
Yeah.
true.
One year it snowed. So one day it snowed so much I couldn't find my car. And all 4 years of college, they only canceled class 3 times.
Yeah.
So it was
So
kind of
I
cool.
hope everybody will join us in 2 weeks for Jill's and for closing the session.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Definitely.
it was such a good experience. We should start planning the next 8 sessions.
Yeah.
Right?
One game.
You're here too.
That's true.
Absolutely. So, well, thank you, everyone.
thank
Thank you,
you.
everyone, for joining. Thank you, Amy, for putting together this Zoom meeting and everything.
Yeah, thank you. It's great to see everybody.
I hope to see everybody in 2 weeks.
You got it.
Good.
Enjoy. Have a great weekend. No, it's only
Nice meeting
Thursday.
everyone.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.